is still part of Zambia's biggest problem, where in 2026 we have 861 cases and 16 deaths across 20 districts. You previously blamed residual environmental contamination as part of the reasons for why we are here today. But why does this seem to be a big problem that we fail to resolve? It feels like a traditional ceremony that every year we must expect cholera to break out in our country.
First and foremost, Andrew, I should thank you for having allowed me to be here today, this evening. Andrew, we should first and foremost congratulate the UPND government and the President Hakainde Hichilema, who has stood tall in terms of health care. Previous years, this time, cholera would have been a serious disaster. Today, this is February 15th. Situation has been contained. The outbreak is caused by many factors. 1, contact. 2, contaminated water. Let me say it's a hygienic issue. When we talk about contact, we have no control over truckers coming from different countries. There are some countries, cholera is December to January, or January to December. In Zambia, through President Hakainde Hichilema's stewardship, the surveillance team is on. It should have been very serious in other corners. Like last year, there was an outbreak in Nakonde. We managed to contain it. And you know how Nakonde is, bordering with Tanzania. We have managed to put teams to liaison with our colleagues from the other country. Of course, compounds around our townships that drink contaminated water. One case of cholera is a disaster because it spreads very fast. It went also to, last year, to Kasumbalesa. We managed to contain the situation. In Pulungu and Monze. Monze is only this year, but we have contained the situation.
It's good you speak about Mpulungu because Lusaka is once again, the driver of transmission with all the, OCV doses administered. Why are we still seeing a second wave in places like Mpulungu and Solwezi?
In Mpulungu, travelers for fishing, and mind you, there are those islands on Lake Tanganyika. People cross to go and buy fish, and there are no health facilities. They have to come to Mpulungu. People track from here up all the way to Mpulungu. They come from Tanzania, they come from Congo, they come from Burundi, and into Mpulungu. These are hotspot areas. But we are very vigilant. We have managed to vaccinate a good number in these areas. That's why we have seen it has scaled down. The danger was in Monze, but we have scaled down. In Lusaka, they are isolated cases. And when you follow these cases, you find that it's one family. Maybe one of them had visited some other areas other than Lusaka, came in, and they did not report the cases quickly to the hospital. But the death cases have been contained to very small numbers. We didn't say it's good because we don't expect any death at all. Deaths mostly are those cases which are reported to the health facilities very late.
Besides heightened surveillance, what else are you doing as a ministry to ensure that?
Coordinating the places, the water that they drink, and sensitization. We are depending on the health workers, community health workers, going into compounds in the areas to sensitize the people. And also, the president went to China to bring in a company. Not his company, because Zambians who think it is Hakainde Hichilema. Hichilema is the servant of the people of Zambia to bring in, to manufacture vaccines. He's the champion for cholera.
Which company is this?
The company, I wouldn't tell the name exactly. It is in the manufacturing for cholera vaccine in Zambia. The first of there was a donation, and thereafter then they shall be manufacturing here. And we're encouraging many companies to come and manufacture more vaccines. And Zambia has also applied to become a member of the International Vaccine International Institute. Yes, meaning we need to domesticate that so that we become a champion in terms of manufacturing. When you manufacture in Zambia, you would now bring it closer to the neighboring countries. It used to be landlocked, but now is a center of connectivity. It's a center of distribution. And our MOUs with other countries in the world, they have already bearing fruits. Botswana
Go ahead, Minister.
Came in recently to buy some medicines that are manufactured in Zambia. To us, that's a plus. I should quickly say, Bali, the president of the Republic of Zambia, calling, I'll fix it. And these are bearing fruits now. I met a colleague of mine the other day, a member of parliament, I will not mention the name, said, Mdala, Nawasala, I can't go anymore. Because when you talk of this Bali's doing it, look at the dollar. Look at the fuel. Look at every situation. We're in a very critical situation of the drought. But look at the country now.
We'll be coming to fixing, things, because you promised so much to fix when you were appointed Minister of Health. So you are stating here tonight that President Hakainde Hichilema went to China, and he is bringing a company that is coming to Zambia to set up a cholera vaccine company to be producing this cholera vaccines. From where you sit, Minister, do you realistically see cholera being kicked out of Zambia? And I asked this question because earlier on in your submission you mentioned that part of the causes of cholera is contact. People, are in contact with each other and the environment, and so you have no control as a government. But with some of these interventions that you are bringing on board, do you see cholera being kicked out of Zambia, or it's an impossibility that we can kick cholera out of Zambia?
It is our desire to kick out cholera out of Zambia if we adhere to the hygienic measures. One, if we stay clean, we cook our food, we boil our water, we wash our hands. These are measures which look simple, but we tend to ignore them. But the problem is this: how do we control traffic coming from other countries? There are some countries, cholera is year-round, and trade is an ongoing issue. That's one route how cholera is transmitted. But we have to put in measures, maybe barriers, to sanitize the people before coming in. As long as politics is not at play, we have to contain such situations.
There was a breath of fresh air when you were appointed minister responsible for health. Part of the promises you made to Zambian people is to be able to fix the road at Zamsa, because at the time that you came, we had scandals, real scandals involving millions of dollars, and some of the containers, being diverted from going to the Zamsa warehouse to the J&J, warehouse. And you coming to the ministry was some form of fresh of breath air, and you were so hard on in terms of going to see what's happening at Zamsa. Would we say tonight that you fixed Zamsa, Minister?
Thank you very much. I should say thank you to the President Hakainde Hichilema. First and foremost, when he appointed me to go to the Minister of Health, he had already appointed a team to carry out a forensic audit at Zamsa. Forensic audit to go into details of what was happening in there. There was rampant corruption. And if you saw for yourself, today as we speak, there have been cases which are still in court, which are still under investigations. The report came out in detail, and cases have been investigated. Some of them are already in court. Wouldn't mention about that. And also we have seen there was no board. Today there is a board. And the board is yet now to appoint the chief executive. There is a temporary one. People have been saying, we have been appointing several. No. People are enacting capacity. No.
Yes.
These are standing in. Like today yourself, Costa was supposed to be here. But doesn't mean you are now the managing director. These are sitting in so there is no vacuum.
But what's the problem with you appointing a substantive DG?
No, it has got a procedure. We tried to do it. They said, no, it has to be a board to appoint. It's not the minister. We have to put in the board in place, and then the board is the one to appoint the
substantive
DG. All these who have been coming in were just to warm the seat. We don't leave.
And they can't make any decisions.
No, they can make a decision, but they are not taking substantive positions in the office. So, in the real sense, there have been only 2 DGs ever since this government came into power.
Are we likely going to see a new DG for ZAMSA before the elections?
Depending.
Are we likely going to see
that's a board decision to make. That's a board decision.
What about ZAMRA? There's no board at ZAMRA. There's no DG at ZAMRA.
There is a DG at ZAMRA.
What about the board?
The board, the names are being scrutinized, and I think very soon they will be announced.
My substantive question was, have you fixed ZAMSA?
Yes, of course. Of course. I mean, are you hearing of any scandals now? Don't even refer to those expired drugs and what have you. Those are some of the cases which are in court, where people were buying medicines below 80%, which is a standard required shelf life. Those, when you are buying, they must be 80% and above. But because of people's greed, they were buying drugs which had a short shelf life. And these were the cases which were being investigated, which even came out in the forensic report. These cases are old cases which are being investigated and are now with the investigative wings.
You're looking for foreigners to come and invest in our country, in our health system. Why can't Zambians invest in our health system? Why aren't you looking from within for Zambians to invest in our health system?
And I mean, Andrew, that's an open door policy. We want Zambians to invest. If Zambians have got expertise, they've got the money, why not? Why not? We've got already 3 companies here already which are producing medicines in the country. They can partner with those ones, or they can bring in their partners, or they can themselves go into that business.
Does this government have interest for local suppliers at heart?
Why not? They are there.
I asked that question because Mission
Pharma...
I asked that question, Minister, because Mission Pharma has been the sole distributor of health center kits in our country. From the time you came into office as a New Dawn government, you give Mission Pharma contracts worth at least $24 million per year. And for the past 2 years, Minister, ZAMSA floats, tenders that for some reason, would get cancelled. And then you direct bid Mission, Pharma Limited, the company. Now, the Public Procurement Act of 2020, as amended in 2023, Minister, Section 89, dictates that any foreign company must partner with a citizen bidder. But Mission Company doesn't partner with any local company. It goes in itself, and you have been awarding Mission Pharma contracts for the past 3 years. Why is that so?
Andrew, let me be very clear on the Mission Pharma. First and foremost, when we look backwards, what happened to the honeybee, that issue. They tried to scale down on the Mission Pharma. The quality, the products that came in brought issues. Mission Pharma has got a frame contract. Frame contract is not only to Mission Pharma, to many others, depending on the products. Mission Pharma has proved that is efficient in distribution of drugs. When we are now trying to contract for the future, Mission Pharma is doing 100%. Now we want to scale it down. That's the one which people have been talking about. Instead of Mission Pharma doing it alone, we want also now to involve the Zambians. But mind you, we don't want to endanger the Zambians to people try and error.
Are you saying that the local suppliers would endanger the lives?
No, depending on the experience. You're dealing with drugs. You have to be careful. We don't want delayed services. Mission Pharma has been very efficient.
But have you tried others?
We are saying,
yes. Have you tried others?
I'm giving you the example. You see, which Zambian? Let's not be looking at the color of Zambian. Zambian is anybody who is a citizen.
Is Mission Pharma above the law? Because I've clearly stipulated what the law says. The Public Procurement Act of 2020.
Andrew, give me a chance I explain on this one.
It says any foreign company must partner with a citizen bidder. Why is Mission Pharma going alone? And you've been giving Mission Pharma over $24 million per year, Minister, a foreign company.
This is what I'm saying. They've got a foreign, I believe, the frame contract. In the frame contract, we have to supply 100%. But now it's being scaled down. They wanted to scale it down to 50%. We say this other 50%, we shall be trying. Let's scale it at least to 25% local, limited to local companies. If they perform very well, we accelerate to 50%.
What about the law? Let's talk about the law.
Yes.
The Public Procurement Act of 2020 is very clear and dictates that any foreign company must partner with a citizen bidder before they are offered a contract. But Mission Pharma, Honorable Minister, has been more or less like above the law. These are foreigners that you're giving monies to, that have not been following the law, that you've been blind on it, Minister.
Andrew, any contract in Zambia, the law is followed.
Have you been following the Public Procurement Act with Mission Pharma?
Why not? Why not? There's an advert in the paper, and people have to qualify before they give any contract.
Let me ask another simple question, Minister. Tell us which company Mission Pharma is partnering with.
I wouldn't tell, because these are contractual issues are done directly at SAMSA. They are not done at the ministry. I wouldn't tell exactly, but I'm saying we follow the country law.
Citizen companies, Minister, have been complaining that Mission Pharma is paid upfront through a letter of credit upon contract signing.
I've never heard of that. I've never heard of.
You've never heard of that?
We're being paid in upfront.
Yes,
no, I've not
they're given a letter of credit.
No. What is it? What is the letter of credit? What is the letter of credit?
It gives them.
The letter of credit gives you confirmation that if you supply, this the bank can give you the money.
Even before you supply, you can go to a bank and get the loan and get the loan, and you supply. So it's technically upfront payment. You're given a letter of credit. It means that I can go to a bank, reputable banks like Zanaco, I get the money, I go, and buy the medicine and bring back to the country. But you don't do that, Minister, for the local bidders.
A letter of credit is an assurance backed by this person is contracted. If you give it money, it will be paid out of this contract. It is the bank that is dealing with the supplier in terms of money. But you are just supporting it so that they are not delayed in terms of money.
Why don't you give letter of credits to local bidders?
Any local bidder can go to the bank. They do that.
Do you give them letter of credit?
I mean, if they apply, it's not just automatic. It's up to any bidder. He can go to the bank if he has got a valid contract. If this is done on a daily basis, depending on the contractor, I mean the supplier.
Are you sure in your office you are aware of the fact that there's any local bidder that has been given, in this country, been given a
letter of credit? That is personal. That is dependent on between the bank and the contractor. So it's like you, Andrew.
Yes.
Today, you have got proven business, which the money is already there, projected. You can go to the bank and convince the bank, and the bank will give you the money.
So this letter of credit,
and also there is performance bond. All those things they have to be in place. There is no contract that is so loose so that you can lose the money. Everything is secured accordingly.
So maybe let's be very clear, Minister. So this letter of credit, who gives this letter of credit? Is it the bank or it's
a letter of credit is a bank. It's a bank document. It is supported by the contract terms, but letter of credit comes from the bank. You obtain a letter of credit from the bank.
How much trust do you have in local bidders? Because
it depends. These are many.
Minister, it's a bit shocking here that you're telling us that the contracts have been given to Mission Farmer. The past 4 or 5 years of your administration has been given to one contractor, when we have several local contractors, in our country, but has been 100% given to Mission Farmer. And your justification here is that they've been very effective in their delivery. Obviously effective, I don't know in what terms. But are you telling me, Minister, that it's the only company in this country that can deliver these kits, Mission Farmer? It's the only company that can deliver these kits?
No, it cannot be the only one, but this is a specialized kit. It's a specialized kit given to people who know exactly what to do, have got the capacity to deliver, capacity to have the money to do what is required in the contract terms.
Mission Farmers are not manufacturers, they're suppliers.
They manufacture, but
they go and buy from outside the country, and those kits obviously contain like 56.
They've got connections.
Products.
Yes.
And those products are assembled by those, by Mission Farmer, and they bring. And so it's not like it's a very special kind of kit that only Mission Farmer can supply. Even you yourself or myself, I can supply, these kits. And I'm saying that figuratively, Minister. My question again comes back, Minister. Is Mission Farmer the only company with credibility, the only company with a clean record to supply these kits?
Andrew, I've put it.
Or capacity, if you like.
I've put it that the Mission Farmer has got the capacity. But this time we are trying to scale it down to allow the citizens. They had tried to scale it down so that they involve. I gave you the issue of one company that failed us. And we don't want to delay. At the moment, the kits are all over the whole country and they're delivered on time. They're on time. Before I took that office, there were some cases. Some of cases are in court. I don't even want to talk about it. We are looking at efficiency, efficacy.
That's why you do direct bidding for Mission Farmer.
It's not direct bidding. It's a bidding that is spread to the public.
Minister, so many issues could be spoken about this, because yes, you are stating that this is not a direct bid, but what we've seen so far, our investigations show that yes, it was to be an open bid, and then in the middle of the procurement process, you would cancel. And then you direct bid Mission Farmer. And that's what the complaint is from some of these local companies, that yes, government would open it up for open bidding, but in the middle, they would decide to cancel and then direct bid, with Mission Farmer, as if though it's just an academic exercise for you to show that we engaged in an open bid, but at the back of your minds as government that the person who's going to end up with the $24 million per month, per year, is Mission Farmer. This is the sentiments that we're getting, Minister, in our investigations.
There is procurement procedure that is followed. Whatever procurement of a certain threshold you are undertaking, there is a procurement procedure that is taken. But you see, we wouldn't want to give it free to all, just to chance. How about if they fail to meet the requirements? Why they choose that company through the procurement bid? It meets the requirements. There's financing, time of delivery, quality, all those are followed. There's a committee that goes through it. As I'm saying, there was audit, including forensic audit. They didn't find anything wrong in this. But I've already assured you that it is going to be scaled down by 25% to try new suppliers. If they meet the cause, the reason why they should be considered, why not? I'm saying that will be scaled up again to 25 to 50%.
When is that going to happen?
It's a procedure going on, because it takes time for procurement to take place. This time we're looking at 2027, so that there is no gap. Yeah.
Well, Minister, you boast of the fact that there's over 85% of availability of medicines and medical supplies in health facilities. It doesn't seem like the true reality of things on the ground, Honourable Minister. Just tonight, I did an investigation. I spoke to a number of doctors to understand some of the challenges they are facing. And the doctors told me, Minister, that, for example, at UTH, there's no sterile gloves. The health workers don't have gloves. But also, they're saying that they've been impacted negatively by the renovation of some theatres, and this is affecting, their work. What is government doing? On paper, you tell us that you're doing so well in terms of the availability of these, medicines and medical supplies, but yet it doesn't seem to be the case on the ground, Minister.
Andrew, let me begin with the renovations at UTH. There are 8 theatres. 3 were leaking. The roofs have stayed for too long. They were leaking. They were closed. That did not mean the others could not handle the patients. The other 5 remained operational. And I made a statement recently that even these 3, very soon they'll be repaired as long as the leakage stops there. The contractors there will be on site. I gave the roadmap. Within March, the situation will return to normal. But the other theatres are operational. That is on the renovations, which is key because, a theatre is very sensitive. Coming to the other issue of 85%, I've gone around as a Minister of Health everywhere. That is a true fact. When you're talking about the shortage, the drugs that are talking about are essential drugs, not all drugs. Because there are certain drugs which don't move. We can't buy and stock them. Those will expire. But all hospitals in Zambia have got a grant. Ask them. All hospitals, they are receiving a grant. All senior superintendents, they receive a grant. If we have got a shortage, they are allowed to procure some drugs to fill up the gap. Not only that, even ZAMSA, on request, will quickly respond. But you see, others depend on their personal initiatives. They will leave the pharmacy, they would want to procure, or a certain drug that is not available, which is not part of the essential commodity. They would think there is a shortage of drugs. You talked about gloves. These are huge procurement consignments. The tender procedure is bureaucratic. Already so far now, there are 15 trucks on the way. So far, we have received 8.
Out of 15 trucks?
Yes. They are being distributed to the hospitals. Some of them were already on. We didn't run out completely, except that they have not been ordering. The other day, I was discussing about the availability for gloves. I sampled in certain hospitals. They had, but except that they did not order. And even this evening, they said gloves are plenty. And some of them are on the way the containers are coming to be supplied to all institutions. But when you are buying in bulk, the procedures which you are talking about are a bit cumbersome. To complete them, you find the reorder level is delayed to some extent. But at the moment, I assuring you, our Zambian people, that we have gloves for use by the doctors.
We have our first caller from Ndola, Honourable Minister, Mr. Mukova Mulela. Mr. Mukova, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm a lady.
Ma'am, thank you so much for joining us. Sorry for that.
Mukova.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening to you.
Yes, I'm calling you from Dola. My name is Lukowa Mlela.
Please go ahead.
Yes, I'd like to ask the minister, why is he finding it comfortable and defending just to support one company? And then the question you're answering him, you're asking him about if that company is the only one which has the credibility to supply, and if it's the only one which is able to supply the correct thing. What if it is also subletting to other Zambians, but then he's given advantage of leveraging over other Zambians because he's having the major contract? And then the minister is failing to answer the correct question you have asked him to say, is he the only one who has the ability to supply? Does he mean other Zambians do not have the ability to supply? And then he needs to disclose the company which has partnered with, so that we know, because they say it's a government of transparency. Where is the transparency if he cannot disclose the company which has partnered with Mission? I've been following the program. So let him disclose so that we know and get assured of the transparency they talk about. There's nothing that is hidden. He sees the contract because it is awarded. If he doesn't see the contract, then what is he ministering? As a minister, he sees the contract and he accepts to say, yes, let's award. If he's not part and parcel, then how is he a minister of that? How is he a minister of health without him knowing the people involved in supplying the medicines? He needs to disclose the partner to Mission according to the law, which you have quoted.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Minister, would you like to respond to that question?
Thank you, Madam Mulera. First and foremost, the issue of procurement is not a direct responsibility of the minister. The minister provides policy direction. These procurement are done by ZAMSA, and there is a procurement committee involving various stakeholders who are experts. When we are talking about frame contracts, these are advertised and they are lined up. Their qualifications, the reasons why they should give certain contract. When the Mission Farmer contract came to an end, is coming to an end, they have an advert for 2027. I've already mentioned that they want to preserve 25% specifically for Zambians, for local manufacturers, so that the Mission Farmer remains with 75. If these local farmers perform very well, farmers, contractors perform very well, it will be scaled up to 50%. And this is not a one-day issue. It takes a bit of time. It's not today you do. Even for the kit to be prepared, it takes a long period for the kit to start arriving. These are the preparations.
The reason why the Zambian people need answers to those questions, because your role as minister was very well definitive, that you're coming to fix the road in the Ministry of Health. And some of the road we're talking about, Minister, tonight is unquestionable contracts that the Ministry of Health and ZAMSA have been given to these foreigners. And one of the foreigners here is Mission Farmer. While we're asking the question, Madam Mulela also asked, but Minister, can you give us a local company that has partnered with Mission Farmer in line with the Public Procurement Act of 2020?
Andrew, I've put it clear that for Mission Farmer to have been given the contract, it made the qualifications. I wouldn't go into nitty-gritty issues of the contract terms.
But are you sure that there's a local?
I wouldn't tell, but I'm saying according for it to qualify, it met the qualifications. It cannot be awarded if it does not meet the qualifications.
What if you find out tonight that they
unless you bring the contract terms which were signed here, that's what can convince us here. I want the contract terms here. If the contract terms are here, and then they were obligated.
But from why we sit, Mission Farmer is clean, and they're not undermining our public procurement.
No, how they can't qualify.
Let's pick another second caller from Ndola as well, Mr. Mwene. Mr. Mwene, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening, and how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you. I just also want to comment and also ask the minister, I'm one of the patients for glaucoma, which is the disease which is affecting most of we Zambians. And I want to bring to attention of the minister to say, I've been to Ndora Central Hospital and other hospitals, but as country, you find that you never find the medicine for such diseases such as glaucoma. Even when you go to other pharmacies in Zambia, it's difficult for you to find such medicine. How is the minister addressing to such conditions, putting in place that these conditions, they are emanating so much at larger scale in this country? How is the disease surveillance in terms of research? Are these hospitals able to document that the numbers are increasing? Hence, the Minister of Health also needs to put into consideration such, other than every time just providing a Panadol. If I go to the hospital now, Panadol is not a problem. But other medicines that we citizens of this country cannot manage, cannot afford to be importing on a time basis. How is the Minister addressing to that condition? Secondly, if you go to the hospital, the biggest hospital, which is in Ndora, you find outside it's showing that there is the renovation going on. But when you go deeper into these hospitals, it's terribly. I'll give you the same scenario of the same department that I usually visit, which is the eye clinic at Ndora. You find the whole roofs is lipped off. There is a leakage of water from outside. It's not conducive both for a patient and the same officers who operate within that hospital. How is the minister looking at that? But when you are passing through outside, there is that impression that there are major works going on. But actually, there is nothing. The hospital is depleted. It's even smelling. The last concern is the backlog of when you go to the X-ray department. They will put you at number 800 and they will tell you maybe this is February. The time we'll be able to access X-ray maybe
Sorry, Mr. Kayo West, we have to give an opportunity for others. When you call in, you're given a minute to be able to raise your questions to the minister. And so ensure that everything you say is within a minute. Minister, would you like to respond? Glaucoma?
Yes, Andrew. I've put it that certain drugs, they don't fall the category of essential. They are specific. And I said every hospital has got a grant. Ever since this government came into power, all hospitals receive grants. And I've put it in public that if you have been given a prescription, that medicine is not available, please bring it to the attention of the medical superintendent. This medicine will be procured for you. And also we are encouraging people to go through NIMA, to pay that 50 kwacha for NIMA. NIMA can procure these medicines. If there is no medicine for eye glaucoma, they cannot stock all medicines. They expire. We have to stock according to the consumption. If it's a special case, you have to bring it to our attention. Even SAMSA, they can order. Specifically, I've put it clearly, even before this interview, that please call me, and people have called me several times, and we have intervened. Medicines have been supplied. Yeah. That's about glaucoma. Coming to Ndola, I need to differ with my cousin, Mwene Kayoba. Ndola is one of our model hospitals today. I've been to Ndola 3-4 times. I congratulate the staff there. I congratulate the senior superintendent. That is super, beautiful. Even the way they administer. That's why the superintendent, I even brought him to UTH. People today, I had a call from somebody praising UTH. First of all, when I was called, I was wondering whether it was a complaint. Say, we want to appreciate what is happening in. I'm very happy. I'm very proud. Those queues you used to see, you never find them there. Maybe leakages, these are old buildings. We can't determine where the leak will come from today. It's unfortunate maybe he went in and then we've had the heavy rains. Those can be addressed. The same thing like we're talking about the theaters at UTH. The leaks, these are old buildings. UTH in Dollar Central Kitwe. The renovations are going. Those who can receive attention in Dollar, the community involving the senior chief, Chiwala, and the rest are there. They are mobilizing funds, including the banks, Indobank and other banks. They are providing resources every now and then. It has come to my attention. I've taken note. And tomorrow, Monday, I'll call the senior superintendent. We need to take care about that leakage.
At the leakage in
yes.
Dollar
and we have
hospital.
We are happy if we can be getting a feedback. Yes, whatever you see, that is what was posted on to us ministers, where somebody threw some garbage on the road. This one went and reported there's garbage there thrown. Another one went and reported. Another one went and reported. Another one went and removed that, and then found there was a pack, in which he went to his boss and said, when I've been removing the garbage, there was this pack. The boss was very happy that take action. When you were clients, these hospitals are for us. We are your servants. Tell us whatever you see. Either a shortfall in the nurse, in the doctor, in what? What we just don't need is people who are deceitful, who are going there with political minds. At times I receive reports which are totally wrong. The other day I was told there was no blood at Levy. I rang in the presence of the person who was reporting. It was embarrassing to the person reporting. He said, no, we have here.
No blood there.
We have blood here. Yeah? But you see, we should not be deceitful. That's why this government is an honest government. Very honest, starting from the president himself. He's a very honest person. Look at what he promised the Zambian people. Look at the achievements he has done. Look at the school. Look at the medicines. Look at the employment. All these are things very, very cardinal to this government. You can see yourself.
I'll be touching on employment in a bit, but we have Mr. Perry calling us from Lusaka. Mr. Perry, good evening. Mr. Perry, good evening.
Good evening, Mwansa. Mr. Minister, good evening as well.
Good evening, my dear. Thank you, Mr. Piri.
Yes.
Michael.
I am also making this is a follow-up on the caller from Ndola who talked about the shortage of eye drops relating to glaucoma. I'm also a glaucoma patient. All right. So I would like to bring it to your attention that this, glaucoma has become a major disease in Zambia. And when we visit all these health facilities, we are not finding the essential drugs. I'm actually disappointed that up to now the Zambian government has not declared some of these eye drops as essential drugs to treat, or rather not to treat, but to manage, because glaucoma is basically a management disease. All right, I'm actually surprised that up to now some of these drugs, or rather eye drops, have not been rendered as essential, because the number of glaucoma patients is actually on the rise. So question number one is, when are you going to declare when are you going to declare glaucoma eye drops as essential?
That is
Second question is, we are not finding these essential drugs in any of these health facilities. Actually, on NIMA, we are not finding these drugs. You actually literally have to walk into a private pharmacy to buy the drugs. And yet you are subscribing to NIMA. And NIMA does not even refund the patient. They don't refund us. You literally have to walk into a pharmacy to buy these drugs. Glaucoma is a management eye disease now.
Thank you so much, Mr. Perry. We have to give an opportunity for more people to come through and ask questions. But the Minister, the question is very clear, Minister. Perhaps maybe you can educate the Zambians tonight on what qualifies a drug to be an essential drug, as you respond to when you're going to make glaucoma drugs as well to be categorized as an essential, drugs.
An essential drug basically is a drug that is commonly, in an area, for instance, malaria. It's common, it's widespread. So when we're talking about eye drops, there are various, even glaucoma is in stages, different types and combinations. It's difficult to stock those. You'll be ending up having expired drugs. What has come to my attention is glaucoma, if they are on the rise, we need to take stock and then add it on. But the problem is you stock them and there's no client because they are not one type. There are different types. What we can do is this. When we check the types of glaucoma they are talking about, maybe through the trends they can give us, and then we put an increased supply to meet the demand. I've taken note. Seriously. The issue of NIMA, yes, I've had complaints that some people are not receiving adequate attention through NIMA. NIMA is going through a review, even the Act. We want to see how we can increase the pool. It was restricted to formal, but now we are going towards formalizing it. And in fact, in the Act I was checking the other day, we are allowed actually even to charge for people coming into Zambia so that we can increase on the pool. These are coming. We have to investigate that, but we shall be talking to the NIMA people. The problem NIMA has been facing, the financial challenges because of the pool, which has been limited. But the whole issue of NIMA is well accepted, very, very accepted by the whole country. We need it, but we need to enhance it financially.
I'm reading some of the messages on Facebook. This person says, Minister, you must visit UTH tomorrow because a lot of tests are not being done there at UTH. The histological chemistry test not being done at UTH. And perhaps your staff are not telling you the truth. You must visit UTH tomorrow, Minister.
I've been to UTH and I'm in contact. You see, why are they not doing
that? But they're going to tell you what they want you to hear.
Why are they not doing the tests? Why are they not doing the tests?
You must find out, Minister.
Yeah, I need to find out exactly. That I'll do. That I'll definitely do. Yes.
So many messages around recruitment of health workers. I think that was December last year when the Civil Service Commission did announce that they've begun the recruitment of 2,000 more health workers. This is in addition to the 18,000 that you've recruited the past 3 years. But people, even till now, Minister, are saying that this recruitment is not coming. You announced that President Hakainde announced that there's going to be 2,000 more health workers that are going to be recruited, but you've remained mute, Minister. Where are the 2,000 workers that you promised?
Andrew, we have to be sincere. We announced, and it was announced by Public Service Commission, about the recruitment and the process under which we shall do it. First of all, we have to look at promotions to create space for the people to go, to motivate them. First and foremost, let's appreciate this government. Let's appreciate President Hakainde. He's unprecedented in this country to have this record of recruitment. And look at even the budget for health. It tops the agenda of our budget that is present in Parliament. In 5 years, we have recruited so many. In 4 years, actually, to be specific. With these 2,000, we are coming to 20,000 health employees. And look at the facilities that have been built. Look at the equipment that has been distributed. Despite these problems of drought, COVID, health has still stood out completely to offer health care to the people. People, you must understand that recruitment in moderation is compared to what is available at the time. It is a wish for the government to employ as many as possible because we've got facilities everywhere. But the space, physical space, mind you, we went through a very difficult situation in this country when we took over. There was a debt. This economy went into negative. It took the initiative of the President again, Chilema, to go and restructure the debt to give us space. And that did not mean to deny people their health care. Today, as we're speaking, after restructuring, there is space, the recruitment goes on, and is still going on. The President has been praised by everybody around the whole world. And I'm sure you are seeing this. Zambia has become top, even in the health sector. Zambia is doing extremely, very, very well. The recruitment has been delayed a bit because of the processes, the recruitment to finish, create some space for these ones, and also check on the post IDs.
Why haven't you told the Zambian people then? Because
it was done. I announced it.
This was announced, Minister, last year.
I announced it.
That in 2025 you'll employ 2,000 health workers. This is 2026.
Andrew, maybe you don't just pay particular attention. I announced it at my press briefing the other day. I said we are undergoing processes, stages by stages. Very soon, the committees will be going around to all districts, inducting them on how they should carry out the recruitment. I've been having meetings with the Zambia medical associations and the RDAs who have been discussing all this. They are part and parcel of us, so that we ensure that there is integrity.
So,
and there is fairness.
In short, Minister, when are the 2,000 health workers going to be employed?
Within this year, they will be employed. Once they finish all the processes.
Do you have an idea? Obviously, you have projections.
The projections, these processes have to finish. They have to go all around to check the databases and induct those people, how they will do it. The moment they finish that, that will be done.
So you're not sure as well? When?
No, but the process, I mean, it's controlled by Public Service Commission.
But you're the boss.
Yes, I'm the boss. I'm Minister of Health. But employment is a duty of public service. And we are government.
The duty to the Zambian people.
Yes.
To be able to.
I'm saying this year, we are employing them.
This year, you mean before the elections?
This year, when I say this year starts from January 1st to December. This year. Once they finish all the processes, everything is put in place, the recruitment will take place. The recruitment will definitely take place, but we have to do it in you see, government processes, they are bureaucratic, but they are good, they are very sure, because we have to check qualifications. ZAGO, this qualification authority of Zambia has to go. There are certain things to avoid people who come in with forged documents, the age, all those things have to be put in place. Those processes have to be cleared.
Yeah. What about the volunteers that have been rendering a service to our country? Why haven't you been considering employing, the volunteers?
Very important question. These volunteers are essential to us. Very, very essential. In other countries, they've come up with a policy that when one person finishes, should work for the number of years before taking them on. The demand and supply seems not to be balancing. We have too much supply. Again, we have too much supply in the market for the trained staff against what we are demanded looking at our envelope. The volunteers are helping us a lot. Why? It would be a desire by this government to employ everyone, but because we are limited, even this 2,000, it's not only for nurses and the doctors alone. It is for all entire cadre in the health care. Pharmacists, radiographers, name them.
Maybe make it make sense to Zambians tonight, Minister, that ask this very important question, that instead of opening up to everybody, why don't you first of all employ those that have given their lives to save this country without being paid? Why aren't these considered as first priority before opening up to the public?
Andrew, you didn't tell. Majority of them, these are the ones. These are the ones we consider. But the number keeps on increasing. When they graduate, they are coming in. When they graduate, they're coming in and out. But we're working against a limited number. This 2,000 against 10 provinces. 116 districts. It's nothing, it's a drop. But I assured the Zambian people that give your president room. Barry will fix it. He's still finding means and ways outside the budget. How do we do it? We had offers in Angola, but we looked at it. He's still looking at that. We have also looked at the other countries. We are busy lobbying to see how we can dismantle this. What is good is we have trained a lot of them, but how do we consume them? And also we want public health hospitals to employ some of our health personnel. We want those who are volunteering for sure. They're already giving us a service. Without them, it would have been difficult with this increased population.
When you say we've got a deal in Angola, what do you mean?
What I mean is Angola wanted some specialists to be employed. The president negotiated there, but then there are certain issues which were not very clear, and then it's a bilateral issue. And we want other countries also have got
So your government is looking to other countries to employ your people?
Yes, indeed.
Are you proud to say that, Minister?
Why not? It's an export. It's an export. Are you not happy to go in South Africa to find Zambians there? Are you not happy to find in Britain some of the Zambians?
It's a shame that
it's an export.
You are relying on a different government to create employment for you when you can do it.
But when we've got extra manpower, we can export it. Export it to bring in income to the country. That's an export. Look at Nigeria. Look at other countries. Now Nigerians are everywhere. Look at China. All these Chinese we're seeing, that's an export. Especially when you're sending specialists to other countries. It is Quenyu.
I want to give you an opportunity, Minister, to give us what you've managed to achieve as a government the past 4 now to 5 years that the Zambian people gave you an opportunity to serve them. What can you point to as achievements that this government has done?
Thank you, Andrew. We should be proud Zambians. The problem is some of our colleagues, they take it in a different direction, very deceitful. Personally, me, I'm not a deceitful person. I'm honest. If I don't do it, I don't do it. If I do it, I do it. I'm very honest, just like my president. He's a very honest person, extremely honest person. Look, he promised the Zambian people that there will be medicines in the hospitals. You mentioned it. There was domestic funding to the tune of 35%. The rest was coming from cooperating partners. Today, as I speak, it's above 80% domestic resource. This, what you see. He promised people that there will be medicines in the hospitals. There is medicines in the hospital above 85%. They promised to create employment. They have created employment to the tune of now 20,000, and it's annually, it's incremental, it's coming on. We promised people of Zambia that last mile, a person in Kaputa, in Kelenge, in Chadiza, would receive equal treatment. Look how your president has embraced everyone. Not one tribe, everybody has been brought on board. Look at the infrastructure through CDF. CDF was at 1.6. Today it's at 40 million. We have done infrastructure everywhere. And he wants every hospital to have a ball, to have electricity, to have human capital. Human capital is where we are now slowing down. We wished every health facility can have a personnel, especially those who have done midwifery courses, because we don't want, the president doesn't want a child to die at birth. These facilities should be enhanced. Through his hand, we have cooperating partners who are helping us. Very soon, some of them will be having solar and also connectivity. Look at a flying doctor which was dead. Flying doctor is busy with helicopters, with fixed wing, bringing patients all over. It never happened. First of all, this government wanted peace. Look at the peace which you have in this country. You can now enjoy it. We are not appreciating it, but neighbors are appreciating this country. Every one of us should be very proud of our president, Hakainde Hichilema. He is a man of his words who knew that a dollar, which will be the best performing currency in the whole world today as we speak. This President Hakainde Hichilema, an economist, has proved that he is a very prudent president and who puts the lives of a Zambian to the last mile, more critical. The budget was increased and it's still hopeful to whatever it is. And the Zambians should not be deceived by other people by derailing them. This government has achieved a lot. If that was the trajectory from the other previous leadership, the Zambia would have been somewhere. Give Hakainde 10 years. This country is going to be completely different. It's a country which I'm proud, which I can see. I served as a civil servant in Kaunda days. Coming into Monawasa time, I've seen what has been happening in the country. But HH, from the day go, has been an achiever. Unless you are deceitful in your mind, that you don't want to accept, don't want to see what is happening. Go to neighboring countries, how they are admiring Zambia. Everywhere you go, you say Chilema, 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 Chilema. Everywhere you go, I feel so proud. Personally, I feel proud. And everyone, let's applaud our leadership. Everything is political will for you to champion your government, to drive your government. The way he's driving this government, corruption-free, eyes on the ball, that's the president. He doesn't sleep. He is very serious with whatever he wants to achieve, the Zambian people. But you watch for the next 5 years when he returns in August. You'll see. Because he has achieved most of it. I was talking to one vicious opposition member of parliament. He admitted to me, Jesus came for the sinners. It is us to be explaining to these people. He says, I'm not around. This country, HH is achieving. We try this, he achieves. We are talking about road shading, it's done. Talked about medicine, it's done. You talk about it's done. What else can we be talking? We have just to support him. And I'm urging everyone to support this government, to support the trajectory of President Hakainde Hichilema. He's a man who means very well to this country. We are now talking about development issues because political issues seem to be settled.
The U.S. government, through President Donald Trump, have been very clear on how they're going to deal with the rest of the world, that there's no free lunch. When they're dealing with you, then you have to bring something on the table. I would like to find out, Minister, the U.S. aid and grants in the health sector, what are we giving back to the U.S.?
Now listen, we were at 35%. The rest of the support to the health sector used to come from cooperating partners. We have moved to 80%. We want to move away from conditional aid. We want to move away from there. But how do we move away from there? By promoting manufacturing, by being productive in the country.
What are we giving to the U.S., Minister?
The U.S., that's the money. They're helping us.
What are we giving back to them?
What do you mean?
Are they just giving us this free grant? Are we giving them anything?
Yes, you know what I mean? They're going to give us a grant.
And then what are we giving them?
What we're saying is a grant. Well, what?
It has no condition.
No, this, you see, anybody who gives you, even your wife, you have to tell you, take care of our daughter. We want, if they give your wife, you are beating her, you are doing this and that, they will not be happy. They will withdraw. They want to see the money that they give to these countries is prudently utilized. It goes to the intended mission, not diverted, not corrupt tendencies, chip in and take the amount of money desired for other businesses. They want prudent. I mean, of course, for the American taxes, they have to give conditions on how their money should be utilized. I mean, they could apply it in America, but they want to extend it to Zambia. If they put a condition, we have to meet a condition. We are poor people. But we have to liberate ourselves by being very productive. Look at the production of maize now. And look at the capacity that has been created. President has bought all the or the maize from the farmers. Look what is happening in Zambia today. That's how an economy should run. Andrew, we should be proud Zambians. We should be proud of our president, Hakainde Hichilema. He has shown it to the rest of the world.
It's part of the condition that this aid is coming, a collaboration with the US in the mining sector. I'll ask my question again, Minister. That is part of the precondition for this aid we're receiving from the US.
Andrew, I wouldn't bring in the mining sector. I'm a Minister of Health. In the Minister of Health, they gave us certain conditions, and we have been having progressive meetings, and we're almost there. We're having progressive meetings. We need to satisfy the needs of the Zambian people. What your person wants is what we need to give and take in this.
But you make decisions on behalf of millions of Zambians, and the Zambians must be aware that the grant they're getting from the US is coming with condition A, B, C, and D. And my question, Minister, because there are these rumors we're hearing from last year that Washington had halted in signing a deal with the US, with the Zambian government in terms of assisting us in our health system, for reason that they needed for us to have an understanding in terms of how they're going to explore our minerals in our country. So I'm asking the question tonight, Minister, that does the aid we're receiving from the US, the grant and the aid we're receiving from the US, is it coming with conditions? And I've mentioned the condition that the US mentioned. Is it true, Minister, that this aid and grants that we're receiving from the US, we must collaborate with them in the mining sector as part of the win-to-win situation?
Andrew, the MOU that comes on my table does not contain that condition. The conditions which are on that MOU relate to how the money will be utilized. If there are other external conditions attached, I personally am not part of that. If it is a mining issue, they could know how they negotiated it on the other side. But the MOU we have are specific to the health condition, and those are the ones I should be capable of addressing.
Honorable Dr. Elijah Mchima, Minister of Health, thank you so much for making the time to answer our questions and the questions of the Zambian people.
Andrew, it has been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.